Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. It has been such a minute since I filmed because I took a week off for my mom's wedding week. It has been finals week and wedding week and everything like that, so I had to take a break, but I'm back and I know I'm probably the last person to use this palette and tell you my thoughts on it, but I have to because I'm just so excited. And yeah, I'm just gonna, I don't even know if you can see the title, which you already know. It's the James Charles palette in collaboration with Morphe, and I'm so excited to play around with this today. I'm going to be doing two glamorous looks, one more with neutral colors and one with more colorful colors. So if you guys want to see the two looks that I do and my thoughts on this palette, then just go ahead and keep watching. As I already said, here's what the front of it looks like. It's got a little message on the back, and then you get this beautiful, stunning packaging on the outside. Doesn't really have anything on the back. This is in no way, shape, or form a first impressions because I have been using this for the past, I want to say, week or so. So when I show you it and show you that it's dusty and crusty, that's why. It's because I've been using it for the past 2 weeks. But you get all of these shades and this little slip thing, which a lot of people don't like, but I like it because you can see all the names on it and it kind of covers the shadows. It makes them not as messy. So I want to show you guys a close-up of this palette because it's so big I can't even talk and show it in the frame at the same time. So I'm just going to show you guys this beautifulness. You're not even going to believe it. So this is what the inside of the palette looks like. It is stunning, so beautiful. You've got your more neutral, natural shades on the top half. You've got all of your transition, most used shades in the middle, and the colorful ones at the bottom. And I'm just really excited. I think this is a really good layout. I think it has every color that you'll ever need. I remember when the Jaclyn Hill palette came out, they said that that was the one you could use just for any kind of look, and I feel like this one's even more so one that can do that. So yeah, we're gonna start off with the more, not natural, but the more neutral shades. So what I'm gonna do first is grab my MAC Painterly paint pot, and I'm going to prime my lids with this. And I've actually already done my base makeup. I did it before I filmed, and I didn't even think about the fact that I was doing an eye look and I put on mascara. Who does that? So we're just gonna have to go around the mascara. So in his video, he did say that to use these shadows that you have to use something like a primer, not a concealer. I don't use concealers anyway because my eyelids are more oily. So I use the MAC paint pot and the Urban Decay primer potion and everything like that. I don't really like the fact that we have to purchase something else to get these eyeshadows to perform as well as they can. I don't really like that. A good suggestion for a cheap primer would be like the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. That one's really good and is super duper inexpensive. So that's a really good one that you can use to use with this palette. Sorry, I'm just brushing up my very hairy eyebrows. Just ignore those because I'm trying to let them grow out so that I can shape them how I want them. But I'm gonna zoom you guys in so we can get up and close and personal because we're gonna dig into the palette. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like show you guys every single shade that I use, so I am going to be reading off of the card just so you guys can look and see what the shadow is that I'm using. But for the first few I will show you the shades, but after that I'm just going to read them off. So I'm first going to be taking this white shade, which is the shade called Flashback, and I'm just going to be setting my lids with this. This is a Pale Girl's favorite kind of color to set the shadow with because a lot of the times the bone colored shadows are still too dark for me. So it's amazing that we have a white in this palette, and it's not too pigmented. It can build up for sure, but on first application it's pretty subtle, so I actually like that a lot. Okay, so for the first shade we're going to be going into for the more neutral glam look is the shade, I think it's called, yeah, it's called Punch Me, which is this color right here, which is just like a very much so like neutral kind of peanut buttery shade, and I really love it. It's one that I've been using a whole lot since I got this palette, and a lot of these shadows do have quite a bit of pickup, so just make sure to tap before you apply to the eye. But as you can see, this is very much so like a peanut buttery color, and it's so pretty and such a good transition shade. This is one of the few that I actually like in this palette. I know that this middle row is supposed to be for transitions and everything like that, but for me, these are way too warm for someone like me. So I probably won't be getting a whole lot of use out of those, honestly, just because they're way too warm for someone like me. If you're a little bit of a deeper complexion, then those would definitely work for you. But for me, they definitely do not. So this is one of the few that I can use as a transition shade, and it just blends out super well and effortlessly. Okay, so then I'm going to be going into the shade Mary, which is like this pretty matte cranberry shade. One of my favorites. I really love this shadow, and I'm just going to be placing this in my crease as well with a little bit of a smaller crease brush, one that's still pretty fluffy, but one that's a little bit smaller, just so I'm going a little bit underneath that first transition shade. This one also has quite a bit of kick up. Okay, and then with an even smaller kind of blending brush, this one's from Real Techniques, I'm going to be taking the shade Boutique, and I'm going to lightly dip into that. This one doesn't have quite as much kick up, still has a little bit though, and I'm going to run this in my crease as well, just a tad bit lower, very lightly, because this shade is pretty dark. Okay, and then I'm just going to blend everything back out with no additional product on that first blending brush that we used, just to really blend everything out. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to cut my crease, but I'm not sure if I want to go midway or if I want to go the full way. I'm going to go about 2/3 of the way, just keeping the outer corner not cut. And this is the one step that is a little weird for me when I do cut the crease. Normally I do use a concealer. So I'm just going to go back into my MAC paint pot, and I'm just going to place that on my little concealer brush. Although this is pretty dark for me, so it's going to be a little weird. And I'm going to try and do this on camera as best as I can. Okay, so definitely not my best work, but we're just going to go with it. I'm going to grab the shade literally, and I'm going to place that on my NYX packing brush, and I'm going to pack this on the inner corner of my eyelid. I'm actually going to put this on with my finger because it's not doing it too well with the brush. This is like a pretty duochrome pinky peach with a little bit of purple in it. It's really pretty. And I did not put anything underneath my eyes to catch the fallout. But this is the first shade that we've had pretty major fallout. But that's okay, no worries. I'm gonna place just a little bit more right there. And then I'm gonna take on my finger as well, I'm gonna take the shade Shook and place that on the middle to outer area. And I'm just going to mix the two with a little bit of literally. So it's just a very faint shift, and now I'm going to go back into the shade Boutique, and I'm lightly going to tap into that with my pencil brush and just define that crease that we cut. I think I'm actually going to apply a little bit of the shade Sister on top of this peach shade just to add a little bit more brightness so that we can see that shift a little bit more between this shade and the other cranberry shimmer shade. Just a little bit though. Add a little bit more of Shook. I'm actually going to go into a little bit of Boutique and Tea, just a little bit of both of those, and continue to define that cut crease area. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to work on this outer corner just a little bit, and I'm going to take the shades Tea, Boutique, and No Beans, all three of those. I'm just going to mix them just a little bit, and actually I'm also going to take a little bit of Benny, not too much though because that's super dark, and I'm just going to start working this on the outer corner area just to deepen that up a little bit. And then a final blend of the second brush that we used on this outer area. And this side is done. I don't know if I'm going to add lashes or not. I might just add another coat of mascara, but I really, really love how this turned out. So I'm going to do the other eye really quickly and we'll do the lower lash line. Okay, so we are back. I have finished off this eye as well. And let me just say, I love this look. I am obsessed with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and highlight the brow bone. I'm going to take a mixture of Canvas and Flashback, and I'm just going to put that right underneath my brow bone to lift that area. And then we're going to go in with a mixture of Ring Light and Sister, and I'm going to pop those on the inner corner area. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so I've popped those in the inner corner. Let's move on to the lower lash line, which for the lower lash line, we're going to start off with a mixture of Punch Me and Mary. And we're just going to blend that on the lower lash line with a pencil brush. Just really drag that down. And then I think I'm just going to stamp the shade Boutique on my lash line just to give it a little bit of a gradient. And then to just blend it back out with that same pencil brush. And then I'm just going to take the Jordana Easy Liner retractable pencil in brown suede and pop this in my waterline. And then to pop some more mascara on, I'm just going to apply some more Monsieur Big. This is what I had on. This is what I applied before. Okay, so I've put mascara on. I'm going to zoom you guys out so I can show you guys this amazing highlighter in this palette and lips, and then we're done with the first look. Okay, I have you guys zoomed back out. I'm going to dip into the shade Face, which is the middle shade, and it's a highlighter, and it is so stunning. I did not believe how stunning it was when I first saw it, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of this to my cheeks so you guys can see how beautiful this is. It's a lot more subtle than I was expecting it to be, but I love that. I love that so much. And it's not dark, too dark for my skin tone, which is amazing. And it's just such a great highlighter. Like, are you kidding me? It's so, so stunning. And I love it so much. I think I'm actually just going to pop on a little bit of lipstick and diffuse it. Just something super light to match this eye look. So I'm going to be taking the shade Barely There 06 from Essence. It's just their normal lipsticks, I believe. And I'm just going to pop this on. And then just running my fingers over it to diffuse it. Okay guys, so this first look is complete. I am obsessed with how it turned out. I think it is so, so beautiful and so pretty, and I love the gradient between the two shades on the lid, and I love the soft cut crease, and I just think it's so beautiful. These eyeshadows performed very well. I think the only issue is that the shimmers need a little help, so I would use your finger rather than your brush just because they just tend to work better that way. But I really love how this look turned out, and I'm so excited to move on to the colorful look, so let's go ahead and move on to that look. Okay, moving on to look 2. If my eyes look weird, it's because I tried to take off the eyeshadow without redoing my whole face, so I literally like concealed in like weird spots. So if it looks weird, I'm very sorry, but I didn't want to have to redo the whole look. So we're gonna start again with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot and go over my mascara. I might put on falsies for this look, but I'm still not sure. It's just when I work so hard on looks, like I don't want the lashes to like cover them up, you know? All right, and same as before, I'm gonna be taking the shade Flashback, and I'm gonna be taking it this time on one of my Real Techniques setting brushes and just pat it all over the lid. This is how I usually do it. I usually take this brush. I don't know why I didn't the first time, but I usually just do that because it covers more surface area. I don't know what I want to do, but I do know that I want to use this color right here, which is the shade Cape Cod. It is the most stunning shimmer shade I've ever seen. I'm going to swatch it for you guys so you guys can see it. It is so beautiful. It's like a perfect mix of green and blue. I would say a little bit more like forest green, but with a little bit of a blue hint to it. I don't think the camera's doing it justice, but it is so stunning. I really want to use that all over the lid, but I want to go in with some color in like the crease and stuff like that and then add that on the lid. So I'm going to go into the shade B, which is this really pretty bright yellow. And I'm going to place this in the crease. I know he said with these colorful ones to pat and then blend. So I started off blending and I noticed patchiness. So I am patting and then I'm going to go in and blend, which seemed to have worked. This shade does oxidize quite a lot. I don't know if you even saw that. I didn't zoom you guys in. How rude of me. How rude of me to not zoom you guys in. So you probably didn't see that oxidize, but this shade is oxidizing. It's becoming much more of like a dandelion yellow, much more so than a fluorescent yellow. Let me show you it in the pan. So it's super neon in the pan and it applies and then kind of changes colors a little bit. I'll see if I can show you. Can you see the color change already just in the first initial application? That's very weird. Yeah, this is definitely a patchy shade. I think I'm going to go into a little bit of the shade Playground, which is like a blue, like a lighter blue. Really tap off my brush and then pat this into the crease just a little bit lower. Okay, this shade is blending out pretty well. And you can really see how it's blending because it's on top of a yellow. The yellow is pretty bright, so you can see how smooth that blend is. Interesting. And with no extra product, I'm just going to go back into that first blending brush. Just blend it all out. Wow, this blue is blending effortlessly. That is so hard to do. I don't know if you recall my Laura Lee Los Angeles, I don't know the name of it, Party Animal palette. Those were the worst blues I've ever tried. And I believe that palette is more than this palette. I'm going to do like a very subtle halo eye. I'm going to take the shade Daddy. Oh, I hate that name. And I'm going to place this on the inner and outer corners. Went on pretty good. Same thing on the inner corner. Okay, so basically I just took that shade in the inner corner and the outer corner and then connected it at the top. And now I'm going to go in with the shade Cape Cod and place that on the middle of my eyelid. This is so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I love this shade. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more of the shade Playground into the crease to just blend everything out, bring out a little bit more of that blue because Cape Cod has a little bit more blue in it than I thought after putting it on green. So I'm going to add a little bit more blue into the crease area also just to blend out the colors, make sure they're seamless. Okay, so now I'm going to mix a little bit of the shades Cola and the black shade, which is Spooky, and just add this to the outer corners. Okay, I think that's looking really good. I just want to add a little bit more to right in my crease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a mix of all three of the blue shades, Playground, Brother, and Cola. And I'm just going to mix those three, really tap them off, and then place them into my crease to just define it up a little bit more. And now we're going to move on to the lower lash line, which I think I want to do more green focused on the lower lash line. So I'm going to first take the shade B like we took in the crease. I'm just going to pop that on the lower lash line, although it's not going to show up too much, but just to make that like the base of our shadows. And then I think I want to put that shade we put on the inner and outer corner of that Cape Cod shade, and where's that brush at? And I'm going to take it on a little flat definer brush. This is the shade Daddy. I'm just going to press this right up against the lash line. And then I'm just going to blend it out using the shade Brother. Put that in between the green shade and the blue shade. Okay, let's highlight the brow bone. I'm just going to take the shade Flashback for this brow bone highlight, just to make it a little more dramatic, make it pop a little bit more. Okay, now for the inner corner highlight, which for inner corner highlight, I'm gonna take the shade Hello, which is also one of my favorite shades in this palette. It's like a very pretty frosty blue. And I'm just gonna plop that in the inner corner. Oh yeah, that's exactly what we want. Ooh, I got this side everywhere. Okay, so now I'm just going to apply a little bit of mascara, a little bit of extra mascara. I don't know if I can apply any more with the amount that I already have on. Okay, so now for the waterline, I'm going to take the shade Sterling Blue from the Jordana Easy Liner Retractable Pencil, and I'm going to place this on my waterline. I'm going to place a little more highlight on my cheekbones because we lost a little bit of it. Make it all pop it again. And let's do the lip. Okay, and then for lips, we're going to go super duper nude. So I'm going to take this Catrice Ultimate Color lipstick in the shade 240 Hey Nude. And it's just a super nude. My brown liner that I wanted, my brown lip liner that I wanted to use with this is not with me. So I'm just going to try this. Hopefully it doesn't make me look super pale on my lips, but we're just gonna go ahead and put it on. I think Mama needs a little something on the outside. Okay guys, so this is the finished second look. I love how this turned out. I can't stop looking at it in the viewfinder. It is so beautiful and just so oceany, I feel like, and it's just so beautiful. I really love it. These eyeshadows perform so much better than I thought they would, honestly. And the only thing I would say is with the second look, I would do your eyes first, just because a lot of blues and greens just in general tend to have a lot of fallout, and my under eyes just kind of look a little blue, which kind of throws me off a little bit, and that's just because I didn't do my eyes first. But honestly, this palette is so incredibly worth the $39. I think that this price could be double this and it would still be worth the money. I think it is so good, and I'm so excited to play around with it a little bit more. Let me know down below if you guys want to see a very natural look with this palette. I've been doing that on an everyday basis and would really like to show you guys if you guys are interested in seeing that. But yeah, this is such a beautiful look. I love it so much, and I just really recommend this palette. I think it is very good and very worth your money. So let me know down below what kind of videos you're wanting to see. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And once you have subscribed, please turn on the little bell notification, and please give this video a thumbs up before you leave. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!